What's going on, everybody? Welcome to tonight's call. Today is March 8th, 2026, and this is our weekly outlook call. It is a crazy it's a crazy time to be alive right now, you guys. There's so much going on. And I just want to be here to, help to navigate these current markets, to navigate them with you, because I'm right there with you, trying to figure out what's taking place, trying to figure out what's happening in front of us, so that I can best prepare myself for the week ahead. This is going to be exactly how I prepare myself, the opportunities that I see that I'll be waiting on, some of the trade ideas that I will call when they do come up. We'll have myself and we'll have Ozzy who will be looking out for these opportunities. We are going to, call them as we see them. These will be the trades that we're in. You guys don't have to take every trade. You can take the ones that best align with yourselves, that you see, that you believe, that line up with your strategies and your views and your beliefs. But we're going to stay locked in tune, and intentional, you guys. And we do have another big week ahead. So, with that being said, you guys, today is Sunday, March 8th. We have some CPI news for the CNY. Um, I don't trade. It doesn't affect anything that I'll be looking at. So, we have that coming out in just a little bit. We do have no news on Monday, no news on Tuesday. We have our CPI news on Wednesday. This is my favorite day to trade in the entire month. My favorite trading day in the entire month. Some of my biggest positions, my biggest trades, my biggest wins have come from CPI. CPI is the consumer price index, right? And essentially, what that is it's the change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers, excluding food and energy. So greater than forecast, the forecast is zero point 0.2. Greater than forecast is good for the currency. If the US dollar is bullish, and we see that it's in a big way greater than what we're seeing here, we'll see all of the other currency pairs that we are going to review, against the dollar selling. This news event is one number. It's not a conversation. It's not no speech. It's one number. When that number drops, the market is going to just fly in one direction or another. That's typically how it works out, right? So it tends to be um, one big candle. You know what I'm saying? One straight candle, in one direction, very one directionally. Oftentimes with news events like NFP. NFP has a tendency of swinging the market. Maybe it swings up and then it crashes. CPI typically just one direction, gone. My favorite. Best day. If I only traded one day a month, it would be for CPI. Then we have some conversations for the GBP on Thursday, high impact. We have unemployment claims on Thursday for the US dollar. We'll see. We did have our unemployment claims, but we'll see if there's any revisions or anything else like that. Released weekly, usually the first Thursday after the week ends. And then we have our Canadian dollar unemployment claims. We have GDP month over month for GBP. We have our core PCE price index for the US dollar. So, and then we have our JOLTS job openings. This is another one that can move the market. But our biggest day of the week this week, you guys, is going to be for CPI news. That's the one that I'll really be locked in tune, and intentional with, really focused on how CPI responds. But with that being said, you guys, what are we seeing already? Dollar is bullish. Dollar is bullish. It's very, very easy to see, and it makes complete sense. In times of war, the dollar is always strong. That's kind of, some people think that that's the reason why the US will be willing to go to war, right? If it comes to selling weapons, if it comes to doing anything like that, you sell weapons in US dollars, right? You sell weapons in US dollars. Even if the price of oil is higher and the majority of the world is exchanging oil in US dollars, the dollar always benefits from times of war. Things that do not benefit, that it works against, it's going to work against the NAS, right? It's going to work against things like, that's not my NAS setup. This is my NAS setup, right? It's going to work against, that's an old setup. It's going to work against things like the NAS, because in times where the markets seem unstable, people pull their money out of stocks. Very interestingly, we're actually also seeing that gold is selling off just as well. Interestingly, that gold is actually selling off right back to last week's entry. It hasn't sold off. It was a dramatic sell. It's down 130 points, 130 pips, $130, 1,300 pips. Let me correct myself, right? But it actually traded right back to last week's entry. We're testing the same structures here. The war has not calmed down. I don't know why gold is selling. If gold was selling, you would think it was selling because there was some kind of conversations that were hinting that the conflict was coming to an end. If that was the case, I wouldn't see oil up 20% on the day. We would not see we wouldn't see these things. We wouldn't see the stock market crashing, right? I actually think that this conflict is not going to last more than about 3 weeks. This is actually the exact levels that I was looking to take NAS buys from. We already took our short positions. We were able to analyze and see those short side positions. My expectation was that we would start to see some relief in this area here as we trade back to our next quarter level from the 24,000 level, right? But let's go through it just very quickly. It's going to be a quick review. This is oftentimes not even going to be the best time to just jump into the markets. I mean, maybe. However, the market's already moving. You know what I'm saying? So if I were to go ahead and I'm looking at this US dollar, which has been bullish right here, you can buy the highs, like that. However, your stop loss now has to go below these lows, right? So now you're looking, we trade it back to the top. That's a 1 to 2 risk to reward. It could be good for some people, but that's not necessarily my best or my most ideal trades. What we could potentially look for is we could potentially look for um, markets to consolidate in this area here, right? We do have this structure that's being formed right here, where we can see that price has traded to the highs, traded to the low, traded to the highs, traded to the lows. We've now broken above the highs, right? It's one thing for me to go ahead and say, let me just wait for price to retest at this high and then to continue taking my buys from there. Um, eh, that could work. Not my style. I would more so be looking at this overall range that we're trading in, and I might actually go and measure this trading range. Maybe I go and I take my fibs and I drop the fibs on the total range. And then I look or I anticipate that the market is going to trade back to this 50% level, right? Before I actually take my entries. Maybe I'm like, okay, cool. This candle here is creating a higher high, high above this high above this high. But I'm not going to buy off of the high. I'm going to try to wait for a higher low, right? And then I take my position off of this point here, right? It just requires a little bit of patience. There's a potential that I miss out on this trade completely, but that's where we go and we build up our mental um we build up our mental strength and we go ahead and say that there is no FOMO, no fear of missing out. We're willing to wait on it, and if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. But now, if I were to take that exact same trade back to 100, and I've waited for the trade instead of trying to guess it, right now, instead of it being a 1.2 risk to reward trade, a 1 to 2 risk to reward, it becomes a 1 to 5 risk to reward trade. Knowing that there is news coming out that'll be highly important or impactful, it could also be worth it for me to wait for that moment or wait for that pullback. So I might take my alert. I'm saying I might, but it's exactly what I would do. 99.25, and I'll go ahead and say 99.25 message dollar pullback potential buy side, right? Potential buy side. Now, as this pulls back, I get a chance to take that continuation buy to the upside. If I lose this trade and this ends up being the sweep of the highs, which we're sweeping these previous highs, right? We still have this imbalance to trade into, so we should definitely see price trade to at least 100 I guarantee you, and I never speak in guarantees, right? I always speak in potential, but I guarantee you, with as close as we are to that 100, we will reach $100 for the dollar. That's good for American citizens because it means that things get more affordable. It means that your dollar is now worth more. So the war can technically be looked at as a positive for US citizens. Since the moment that this started, we were we've been very, very much bullish. Your dollar has increased dramatically in value over these past couple of days in 1 week. 1 week ago, today is the 8th, we can call it the 3rd or 2nd, March 3rd or 2nd. The dollar was at 97.5, right, which was our previous quarter level. From that 97.5, that previous quarter, we are already almost reaching our next quarter level, right? Do we go straight through to the 20 to the 102.5? That could possibly be it. It might actually be even bigger than what I'm anticipating. I see 101, but if I'm just looking at my quarters, I might be looking to take this trade back up to here before we see any dollar weakness. That would lead us to sweep these highs. That would lead us to test and trade into this structure and then to trade into this structure here. Highly likely. Our best entry will be on the pullback of that move and then to take the buys from that point in time. What does that mean for pairs like RUSD CHF? I'm probably not going to analyze this trade right now simply because I don't like all of these gaps right here. I typically believe that gaps get filled, but on the dollar index, it's showing straight bullishness. So this should honestly continue to trade within this exact same range. And I just don't feel comfortable with this gap. So you guys know that I love me some USD CHF, but these are not it's not something that I'm willing to take an execution on or a trade on from its current point of view, right? In order for me to feel comfortable with this, I would probably need something to happen to bring price back into structure to fill this imbalance here. Trade back to maybe these highs here that we previously traded from before. Ozzy remembers this. Me and Ozzy can talk this through very well because me and Ozzy, this was right in that area here where we called the buys. I personally called the buys on this trade. Market traded into this sideways structure. Me and Ozzy kind of debated a little bit. Oscar's like, yo, market's got to sell. We got the sell off coming here. I'm like, oh, but I like the buys. You feel me? Oscar called the sells. We caught 100 pips in the group. Caught 100 pips in the group, straight back to structure. Guess what? Even with his sells, it never came back to my entry. After that point in time, we get this inverse head and shoulders right here. You can see that shoulder. You can see that right shoulder. We smacking, my boy. And then we go ahead and we get that left shoulder. We get the buys, and then price trades away from there, right? After that, we literally have market trading right back above structure, back into the levels that we expected it to go to. Honestly, we both won the trade. Phenomenal. And now we're just going to simply wait for what the next move is going to be. For me personally, I don't like this trade unless I get a pullback, probably into this deeper structure here, right? This is something that I would be willing to wait on, right? We have our spike, we clear the highs. There's an imbalance here. We don't quite make it there. We get this rejection, price creates lower. We get this gap, but now we have we still have an imbalance here that has not yet been mitigated. So what I do is I pull my fibs. You can see right where I drew that structure is exactly right where my structure lines up. We have our Fibonacci retracements that come in here. I'll draw a zone right between my 61.8 and my 70%. And I'll literally wait for price to trade back into structure. Ugly as hell, just like what we saw over here. We could anticipate seeing something just like this. Do I take it from here? No. Am I taking any sell side? No. I'm not taking no sell side on the dollar. The dollar is clearly bullish. Clearly. I'm not going to force no sell side. The best sells that I would say, if I did see a sell side trade, right, it would be at this. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not going to force no. I mean, I might call a sell, but If you see these highs here and see this imbalance here, I'm going to clear this up. I always leave my stuff on my chart so I could try to look at what was I previously looking at when I said that, but I do want to clear it so we can be focused on what's happening right here. If you see we have highs here, we have an imbalance here, right? We can anticipate that the market will continue to buy. We will sweep the highs, but guess what? It may not last, you guys, right? We might see the sweep of the highs. We might potentially get a sell side move from here and then price trades to fill this imbalance, right? We got stops above the highs, and then we have our entry right here, 78.45. I'll drop another alert there, 78.45. Um, Short term potential, short term sell side. I can choose to take this trade if I'm feeling froggy. It fits within my risk to reward. That is a 1 to 4 risk to reward to trade back to this imbalance. And realistically, it could trade all the way back to this deeper imbalance level. If it comes all the way back down here, then I might actually really feel that we're going to continue selling. But I would expect for it to trade at least back to mitigate this imbalance. Um, I said mitigate this imbalance, but in reality, what you see is a gap. A gap is an imbalance. It's just that the market moves so fast that it couldn't print a candle. That typically will happen if the market moved that quickly while over the weekend, while the markets were closed, right? But if we sweep these highs, you can see how these highs are so intentional here. High, high, imbalance. We sweep these imbalances, trade back into the structure, and then we trade back to right it. Oh, what is that? Is that our quarter level? Is that a 775 quarter? Hmm. Quite possible. So I'll be looking for this as well. You guys, I want to let you know the days that we can go through and just analyze and just mark all of our, just drop alerts on the market. Alert, 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 alert. Those tend to be pretty good weeks. Moving on to AUD, USD. What do we have happening here? We have lows here that must be swept and imbalance here. We are on the sell side, is what was originally called. I'm not I'm not rushing any sell side positions at this point in time. I don't like all these gaps in the market. Price could trade back to structure here and then could sell from that point in time. Um, does that line up with sells on the dollar? So we got buys to sells to buys. So we would have sells, maybe sells to buys to sells. I don't quite like this price action so much, but I might be able to go ahead and drop a, because this is all a gap that the market has to trade back to. The market will trade back to fill these gaps. It's a matter of when, and we can't really analyze or predict when. But I might drop an alert and just be like, um, oh look, and it's right at the quarter. Okay, so I know exactly how I would play this. 0.702 would be my entry. I'm gonna say 0.7. Watch me turn up this weekend, you guys. I need it. I need a turn up weekend. I need it. I need it. Market kicked my ass last week a little bit. Um, Gap filled, potential sell side. I need a turn up week this week, you guys. I need some pips. I need some pips in my pocket, right? Um, I'm kind of I don't really like NZD. You can see how far NZD has gone compared to where AUD has gone. I don't like NZD this week. If I do like it, I like it to the buy side, which is a conflict. Remember, guys, every single time that you guys hear me say on these calls that there's a conflict in my mind, it's not a negative thing. It's not a negative thing. The weeks where there's a conflict happen to be some of the best weeks for me, right? And the reason why I say that there is a conflict is because look how far we are away. We're already 150 points away from our quarter level, but we've left equal highs here. We've left imbalances in the market. We've left imbalances over here. This is one to where do we have NZD news this week? We don't even have any NZD news this week. I don't like it because My strategy, I would expect to see price trade all the way back above that quarter to sweep these highs. And that's a lot to ask, right? Especially if the rest of the market isn't showing that we're going to make those dramatic moves. That's a lot to ask. It's not my favorite thing, but at the exact same point, we could be buying off of this exact structure that we have right here, right now, right? We literally just came back in and we tested this at that 585. This could be the easiest setup right now, right? Literally, with our stop loss below the lows, 25 pips, and then just trading back to the highs. This could be the easiest play. But the fact that we have these equal highs here and we've got this imbalance here in these gaps, I'm a chill. I'm not even about to set an alert. I might come back and look at it again and see if this played out, but I just like it's just gone too far away for me. I love this, but then there's also an imbalance down here just as well. So it could sell through here, and we could actually end up buying from here. We could end up buying from here. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just too many different opportunities. I like this sell though. If we do, oh, look at that. Where is that at? Is that at our quarter level? Is that a 554? I like all of that. You know what I'm saying? I like all of that. If we trade back down to here, that will better that will kind of clear the conflict in my mind. So it really comes down to what you coming, you gonna come here. You charting with me? What you are you just giving me a hug? Mm, mm. I get you some water in a bit, baby. Sorry guys, I be taking all the hugs I can while she willing to give them. I know it's not gonna last forever. 5775 message approaching our order potential buys. All potentials. Nothing is certain. But if we trade down to here, that'll clear the conflict in my mind. I can't buy at this level, even though there's a potential. It's possible, you know what I'm saying? It could be a good opportunity simply because it would only require a 25 pip stop loss and I can catch over 150 pips. It's a 1 to 5, risk to reward no matter how I cook it. You know what I'm saying? So it could be worth taking a 25 pip, trade here, potentially losing it to be able to make that trade, that bigger trade. Um, but I'm kind of feeling like I should be patient this week, just with how crazy the markets are moving right now. But with that being said, GBP, USD imbalance is lower, right? Imbalance here immediately. I can immediately see these equal highs here that were previously created. Um, equal lows, touch, market buys. We sold from here previously. We bought from here before. I see this as an imbalance that price could trade back to. I like the idea of trading back to equal highs and then to buy from there. And you can see that that's exactly where price is trading at right now. But again, patient, super patient this week. The opportunities will come. I don't like this chart at all. I don't like it at all. It's not my kind of chart. I don't like it. As you guys can see, like I like to trade from the highs to the lows. I like to trade from, and this is a continuation, so this is still highs to the lows, and then buying from the lows to the highs. We get a pullback. Try to trade. You see, when I try to trade in them, I'm just analyzing myself. Every person's different, but y'all see my style, right? These are my bangers when I'm patient and we wait, trading at the top of structure, right? Continuation, trading into the low. What am I doing? It's the same thing that I told you. We're trading from one quarter level, 375, right? Right around that level. Right next one, we're trading. This is still just a continuation. That means I'm looking for the 325 or the 30, right? Trade all the way back down to the 130. And then from the 130, looking to take the trade back up to the 325. I'm not making nothing up, you guys. It's that simple, right? You can even see I ain't even project for price to continue going. I'm like, yo, this is what I could expect. We're gonna mitigate this imbalance, and then price is gonna, maybe pivot from there. Price continues to go. Y'all see how my it gets a lot more difficult for me in the middle of the range, top, bottom, middle. We start seeing like you're taking some chances and market goes your way. I'm not gonna say always. Let me be real, but I'm often in profit immediately to start off my day, start off my week. You see how it works out, and then price turns around, hit stop loss. In profit, price turns around, hit stop loss. I'm trading in the middle. Price comes down, turn around, hit stop loss. All of these could still be considered a winning trade. You know what I'm saying? You should be moving stop losses to profit, taking partials, break even, but not as smooth. I've been waiting on the repeats of these bangers, that we previously had. You know what I'm saying? This is the beauty. This is what everybody wants. But then sometimes we're trading in the middle of the range. This is what we end up getting, right? I don't even know what this is. Ain't even no market here, bro. I'm gonna delete that. Oh, did I move it? Hopefully I didn't move it. I don't know what that is, bro. Trading a ghost zone, bro. Hopefully I hit profit. Sheesh. Now we catch our sells back at the top. Sells from the top. Easy money. Continue. I don't know what that was, my guy. And then you see it again. We get our buys and then entry. Straight loss. Straight loss. I ain't even gonna hold you. Straight loss. I ain't even see profit. My account never turned blue. It was always red. I'm a chill and I'm gonna wait for things to be more clear. I hate this chart right now. I love you, GU. You always treat me well. You always treat me well. So no offense. Don't be mad at me. Treat me well this week, right? But what can I expect? Anticipate price pulling back potentially, and then seeing sell side from there, right? So maybe we go ahead and we set our alert 345. What is that at? Right at our quarter level. 348, 3475, 3475, 3475. Um, approaching our quarter potential sell side. This makes trading easy, guys. This is like you're getting ready for battle right now. You feel me? And as we're getting ready for battle, what we're doing is we're just sharpening our axe right now. We're getting all of our tools, all of our weapons ready. You know what I'm saying? So when it's time, we slicing through these markets. 1.316, 1.3175, 1.3175, um, retesting structure, potential buys. Y'all think I know the market? Y'all think, oh, yeah, we buying this. I don't know where the market going, bro. I can't tell you. I don't care either. I don't care if you buy or sell. I just want to know. And I only want to trade in my zones. So what you see what I did right here, guys, is this whole area here. Let me clear this. This whole area here is like market consolidations, right? We're kind of trading within a range. We break the range, but we trade back in here. We trade back to the top. Might even say that the range is a bit higher, like right here. Reason why I keep it lower is because we already got the retest here and price is already sold. So I'm not even focused on there. I just want to see how does the market trade in this range here, right? Do we trade right here? It's possible that if we trade down to here, then I can go ahead and I can get my. Go sit down. Go sit down. I could see that if price trades down here, I might be able to go ahead and catch my entry stop loss below the lows. This is on the daily time frame, so we surely not about to take no 140 pip stop loss, but trading back to the top of this range, 1 to 5. still, right? Price trades higher first. Maybe I look at the opposite and I go and I take my short position, stop loss above the highs, and then we're really looking to take it, probably down to this area here. I like this structure down here, just simply because this is where markets have traded from before. I immediately see my eyes are drawn to this imbalance area right here. I see these equal highs or equal lows inside with this imbalance. Price could trade back into structure here. Where is that at? That, oh, previous structure here, previous structure here. Um, this is right around our quarter level. You know what I'm saying? 2485. Um, I might say test of our quarter, big buys. Uh, Test of our quarter, big buy. Y'all see how my, why did it do that? What the heck was that? What did I do? That was weird. I think I did it on the line, huh? I must have clicked the line. 3 4 3 2. What was the level? 3 2. What am I doing? 3485. What? 3 2 1 2 1.2485. 1.2485. Test of our quarter. Big buy. I don't care what happens. Huh? What's going on right now, bro? What am I doing? Am I tripping? First of all, let me get my analysis back because Lord have mercy, I'm getting confused. 1.2485. Somebody write that in the chat real quick. 1.2485. See, there it goes. Oh, maybe it was underneath the line? All right. 1 point. I'm mad confused right now, bro. 1.24. Whew, man, am I slow? I might be. I just confused the whole life out of me. I said this wasn't gonna be a long one, but I'm literally going. This is my preparation for real, for real. We getting ready for battle, bro. Market been smacking me. I'm about to punch back. Euro USD. I don't like no buys here. I don't like all that. I don't like no buys here. It could be a good buy here. This is great structure. It's great structure. I just don't like it. Even if it buys, I'm not gonna be on the buy side of it. I'll probably be waiting for this 7 to. I like this little block right here. 1.172. Just far from where we are. 7.2. Potential sell side. That's a retest of this imbalanced area. From that, it's cold outside. So let's go outside. And now we'll see some sell side here. Um, NAS, I'm a fan of buying NAS. I like these current levels. I like it a lot. Honestly, I think it's worth it. It could be a risk, but I like it. My last target is getting ready to get hit right here. Well, not right here, but right here. Final targets about to get smashed. right? Trading into this order block right here. This is probably one of the most ideal entries on NAS long term, simply because we will trade back to 25,000. We should see 1,000 point move on NAS probably this week. I'm gonna call that. I'm gonna call that. We should probably see like 1,000 point move in NAS quickly. If this level breaks, shit gets scary, bruh. I ain't gonna hold you. We need pullbacks regardless. But if we create the low here, this is our next structure, which is crazy. It won't happen right away, so don't get overly, don't over anticipate, right? There's two things that could happen. Markets test here, trade, create a higher highs. One. Did she just throw the bike down the stairs, bruh? What are you doing? Wasayo, this girl just she just rolled her bike down the stairs. I'm glad she didn't try to sit on it. Get over here. All right, let me wrap this up, you guys. Um, she literally just rolled her bike down the stairs, bruh. Nah, she was trying to go outside. She was trying to take the bike outside. She came over here and she was like, "Oh, outside," and then all of a sudden I just hear, "Dut, dut, 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 dut." I'm like, "Yo, what is that?" She said, "I want to ride my bike." So this is what I would anticipate. If we do get a break and this market falls to here, the scary thing is that all this would be doing is clearing these lows. We would find structure potentially here, right? Maybe a bit higher, maybe right in here is where we find structure. And then all of the buying would be the pullback because this gap will get filled. If we break the lows, the highest that we go ends up being that 25. Maybe not. It could break, it could test here and then continue to go from there. But we could also anticipate that we actually get a pullback, maybe not this dramatic. If it pulls back that dramatically to 25, it probably shouldn't touch 25. It probably should like maybe respect this downtrend. Maybe we get a false break here, something like this, test this 24.75 or 24.800 and then continue down to here. If markets sell like this is our one of our best opportunities to position ourselves for the longer term in this market, start to take buys from here and to hold that for the longer term. We do have some gaps down here. Um, Gaps down here back to 18,000. Holy moly. You know what's crazy? This is the exact level that the market was at this time last year. This is the exact place that we bought it from last year, April. This was April last year. This is the exact time when China, and there's a gap here. Oh my goodness. Lord have mercy. Huh. I'll show you. Think it's capping my rap? Ain't no cap in my rap. Look at this. This is the exact time where China announced reciprocal tariffs, and we called NAS buys right here. $17.10. This is actually 21. Uh-huh. 17.10. This is exactly where it happened. This would be the pullback. Yo, if March is like that, April, this is the 15-minute. It won't let it load. It's too big. What about this one? 15-minute. Damn it, bro. It won't let it load. It's too big. Do I have a bigger one? Why didn't I do this on the higher time frame? This is the exact time where we took the Tesla buys. This will load. This will load. Talk about that. Pow, pow, pow. Talk about that. One of them. Talk about that. Bomb, bomb, bomb. You know what I'm saying? This is the exact time. This is where we are right now, right? This is March. This was March 20th. We took longs on Tesla. This was huge swings. You know what I'm saying? 100% returns, 110% returns. That would go so crazy in the options market. I should have been trading options. But this was our buys from 1710. This happened at this exact time last year. Oh, they hit it because I dropped my Telegram in app. They be hating, bro. They be hating. How many likes did I get on this? None. Oh, they hit it. hmm Anyways, guys, this is a these are scary seasons. This is a scary. It's not a scary time because we're preparing now, right? We know that if the market trades back to 1850, 18.5, this is our generational buy. We're not scared of this. We're not afraid of this. We're not panicking. We're preparing. Buys from here, hold for forever. Don't matter. Drop a penny on that thing. Drop a penny on that thing. And guess what? I can see a path for us to reach that. I can see a path for us to reach that. We would need to break these lows this week. We would need to break these lows this week. It's going to cause panic. We need the panic. If we break these lows this week, don't fear. Expect the pullback 23,500. How did you get that bike up these stairs, bro? I gotta go take care of this girl. We pull back at these levels, you guys. I'm telling you, if we break these, this is a lot of if thens right now. You know what I'm saying? This is not like, oh yeah, I think the market's gonna touch structure. This is a lot of like hypotheticals. You got to do a lot in order to validate what I'm saying right now. So if we see these things validate, don't take it lightly. If we see sells to here, buys back to structure, then we clear these lows, trade back into structure, we will come down to this point. And now it's gonna be something. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, that's all the USDs. I'm gonna just run through JPYs very quickly. Not gonna spend no time here just because I did some back testing last week, and did I clear? Where's my chart? No. I deleted my whole. It's okay. I don't care. It don't matter. I deleted my whole. Is this the right one? Oh, that's okay. That's God. I ain't mad. Maybe I need a fresh perspective. That's some bull. No, I cannot believe I lost my whole analysis. I think I cleared it to show you guys something, but I forgot to go back and fix it. I'm not gonna mark this up again. Not right now. But I did an analysis, and what I did was, or some back testing, and what I did was I looked at all of the conflicts that we had. So I looked at the Ukraine conflict sells, the Gaza conflict sells, and then the most recent conflict, and it was right here, right here. So now we've swept the lows. We're looking at sells. We could expect to see these JPYs. I'm not even going to analyze JPYs today, you guys. Um, what we expect to do, CAD should sweep the highs. Next thing that we're looking for, we're probably going to 120, honestly. And you guys seeing like I was a fan of sell side on JPY strength. Hey, stuff changes, my G. Sell side, we're going to 120 on CAD. We're gonna sweep these highs and we're going to 120. That's probably gonna be the first point to where we get a sell side on this. We're gonna sweep this high. It's already done. This is where like that you just gotta admit when you're wrong, bro. You know what I'm saying? We got men on this call. It's all men on this call. This is where you just gotta admit like when you're wrong. You feel me? Like I've seen it wrong. I thought, and maybe it's not that I was wrong. Maybe like we got real world events that are happening right now. We're living through history, and the market is going to adjust, and we have to adapt with it. But I see 120 on CAD JPY. I'm going to be probably trading to sweep that highs. We're definitely going to go to at least 117.5, which is our next quarter. GJ should continue to buy, right? Which is it's the normal move of it. You feel me? What did I just do? It's the normal, like it's what it has been doing. However, now we should see that this imbalance should be mitigated. We should see price trade back into here. This is actually probably a pretty good buy position right here. Maybe once we get back to like 211, this is going to be a buy. I'll probably look to call that if I can get a good enough risk to reward. And we're going to be looking for price to sweep these highs and trade back into structure. That's the direction for the week. JPYs should stay weak. We should get some very good buys. I'm gonna start calling trades on these JPYs, but we should get some very good buys on these JPYs. 182.75. What is that? That's 25 pips above our quarter. 25 pips above our quarter. How do we make it make sense? Buys here, stops below the low, 50 pipper, 45, trading back to our next quarter level, 1 to 5. Easy money. I'm gonna call this trade probably now. Yeah, probably right now. Good buys on JPYs. Yeah, JPY is gonna fall, and I just got to admit that I was wrong. I don't like admitting that I was wrong though. I hate admitting that I was wrong. I like to be right all the time. But a man who can admit when he's wrong and correct his ways is a strong man. And that's what we got to aim to be. You know what I mean? I don't need to be right. I just want to make money. 82.75, right? 82. You seen I asked, are there any? I'm recording. Stop talking stuff, Wale. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I love the ladies. 82.75, 82 point. Uh, but as a man, we got to be able to admit when we're wrong. 82.80, 80, 82 point 60. Let me see where 60 falls. 60. No. Oh, we're only at 70. So 82.70, 82. I got you, baby. You about to get all my attention. Stop loss 82 point. 20. Take profit one from here to 83.20. 83.20. Next, 83.70. 84.40. 84.80. 84.80. So I'll make this one smaller. 70 to 30 or 2030. How many pips is that? 60. And then that's 50. Yep. Good buys on the JPYs. Man, the Dow just dropped and saying we're gonna lock in and make some money in these wild times. Bro, these are the times to be alive. These are the times to where like, my first mentor always used to tell me, he said to buy when there's blood in the streets. When people are fearful, that's when you need to be greedy. And when people are greedy, that's when you need to be fearful. I'm gonna wait. What time is it? I'm gonna probably pull the trigger on this call in the next few minutes here and get a little pullback on this JPY basket, but we're selling that mug to the next levels. JPYs are gonna sell. Huh. Ooh, look, right at the 525. CAD, Euro. I'm gonna just call it now. What time is it? You want to call it at the end of the hour? This is the last 15 minutes. I'll wait just 4 minutes. Yep. When the world is greedy, it's time to be fearful. When people was greedy on Bitcoin at 125K and they started calling some crazy stuff saying Bitcoin, oh, let me call this trade right now. Bitcoin is going to um I literally have it called the wrong way. See, I almost said to sell it. What am I doing? Am I buying it? Said buy it. Sent. This is supposed to automatically send to my other group. Did not. Hmm. Wasayo, get over here now. Stop playing with me, bruh. Yeah, but with that being said, you guys, that is where we'll call it a day for now. Thanks for hanging out with me. I know it's been 2 whole hours. Y'all, we thugged it out today. But I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and we have a phenomenal trading week ahead. Um, we're going to be patient. We're going to wait on our opportunities. Um, Now we're more in alignment. You feel me? Like I was so stubborn. I'm like, yo, I can't sell these. I gotta sell my JPYs, JPYs, JPYs. But now it's like there's too many things telling me that I have to reevaluate myself. And I think that that's important, in our own development and the people that we're becoming. We got to be able to, admit when we're wrong. I was wrong for like 2 weeks. I might have been wrong all year. Maybe not. I'm gonna just blame the news, bro. I'm gonna blame. I'm blaming Trump, man. I'm blaming them peoples, bro. It's a war. I can't say. How would I predict any of this stuff? I was just looking at price action, but now we got some price action and we got the news, and the news is in alignment with the price action. So we're gonna switch our basis and we're gonna keep it rocking, you guys. With that being said, I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your day. What else am I gonna look at very quickly? Let me look at gold very quick. I looked at gold to start the call off, didn't I? I did.
I don't know. I missed it.
Yep. We looked at that was the first thing that I looked at. That was the first thing that I looked at.
Goldie.
Hmm. That was the first thing that we looked at when we started the call.
Oh, did you get in?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Lord, because the fact is that if Nas is selling like this, gold should be doing the opposite. They shouldn't be,
Yep.
just all melting together. So if this
Yep.
sell is validated and we are actually valid on this sell side, on this Nas position, then we should see the buy side on gold. Gold traded right to our last week's entries. We should see bullishness all week this week on gold. I think that it's going to turn up. We're trading back above this previous consolidation zone.
Yep.
We are creating a bullish engulfing candle right now on gold. And closing this, I think that we should see continued bullishness on gold. So I ain't touching it if I'm being real. I you'd be like, did you touch? I'd be like, absolutely not, bro. I'm a little scary cat when it comes to gold, bro. I
Not a
feel like
gold man.
I'm not a
Yep.
gold man, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I gotta like, and the thing is that my analysis be right, but think about this. I called it here, but even in this, bro, this wick, it looks good, but this is 200 pips,
Yeah.
2,000 pips, 200. He's like, yeah,
200
duh,
pips. It's
duh, that's
200
typical.
pips.
He's like, that's
Who
that's that's
cares?
that's normal, bro.
That's normal,
You just
bro.
gotta take your trade, my guy.
Yeah.
I'm scared, bro. I'll be scared, bro, because this is my typical trade. This is a big stop loss for me, bro. 45
I
pips is
know.
is is a big stop loss for me. My typical stop loss is closer to about 30 to 35,
Just
right
take
in here.
smaller positions. It's okay.
See, that's the
Take
that's
smaller positions.
that
Who
that's
cares?
that's the mindset. I gotta that's what I have to do. You gotta just say, okay, it is what it is. It's gonna trail, but you enter and you just let it ride, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, you guys, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your night. We will be locked in tune and intentional this week. We do have our trade already moving into profits. We should see similar from some of these other JPYs just as well, but Euro JPY kind of looks like one of the cleaner ones to be right now. GBP above 211 looks good to continue to the buy side. CAD JPY should sweep these highs and continue, bro. This shit should go to 200, 120. I said 200, but 120. Oil, unreal, bro. Unreal, bro. Unreal. 22% gains for the week. I ain't driving around nowhere. I ain't moving around, bro. Gas
That's
is
what
about
I
to.
was saying, bro. I ain't
I
gonna
ain't
be
moving.
driving. I ain't not
I
gonna
ain't
be
moving
driving,
around,
bro.
bro. I'm about to be sitting my ass still for the next couple of weeks, bro, because it's just not even gonna make sense, bro. Like if I don't have to be there, like commuting with this is insane. 23% increase, bro. A 23% gain on oil. Sell side probably not coming. Probably not coming. We probably got at least like 120 before we even get a hesitation move to the sell
Bro.
side. We do got these gaps in here, but this the thing is, if you think about it, and we probably going to sweep these highs just as
Oh
well.
yeah. It's
This is one that these buys were easy to anticipate given the understanding the nature of this conflict in itself. They have the Strait of what is it called? The Strait of Hormuz. That is base that Iran controls that 20% of the world's oil passes through, it's blocked. The thing is,
Yup.
the moment that they unblock it, the moment that the conflict resolves and that strait actually opens up, oil is going to crash. It is going to crash. But we don't know when
When
the end of
that's
that
yeah.
conflict is going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yup.
Structurally, it could be here. Likely, we sweep these highs and trade a bit higher into here. I would be looking for sells around 120. They're all risky. There is no safe trades on that. There's no way to be safe and take that trade. You can just lower your risk, like we talked about, or you can buy. The buys aren't even safe. It's not safe to buy it either. Where are you going to put a stop loss? You could just try to catch a momentum move and just catch it while the market's just running and just immediately put your stop. But where are you going to put a stop loss, bro? How are you going to set a stop loss in this? The only thing that makes sense in something like this is to risk it for the sell. It's the only thing that makes sense to me because if I look at this and I take my fibs, that the fibs are already on there somewhere, but I take my fibs and I draw fibs from high to low. Let's say I take it from here to here, right? From the most recent break, right? Not from the quite low, from the low for sure. But look how that 168 line up. Hmm, right? But I take it from here to here and I draw this to the top, right? We would anticipate that we get at least a pullback to the 50% or the 61.8, even just to be healthy. Healthy oil barrel is $80 a barrel. Even if we're going higher, we should anticipate the pullback. If we get a sell from here to there, that still represents a 28% move in oil. NAS just hit final targets. This is where we start to look for the buy side on NAS. That's only if gold chill out. I'm not personally looking for anything right now. I'm gonna just be so chill. But this was a good pullback away from here. Just be patient, you guys. Don't force anything. It's okay to miss out on the trades. It's okay to not be in it. We don't want to get smoked just because we are freaking, but at the same time, what if this sells? If Trump comes out, if anything calms down, if anything relaxes, markets will go crazy, bro. Markets will go crazy. But with that being said, you guys, we'll stay tuned. We'll be patient. We will wait on our opportunity. And when our opportunity comes, we will be ready and prepared. But with that being said, you guys, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your night. I'll talk to you guys all soon. I'll see you in the group. Peace.